Hi guys! Today we are going to learn simple present. Welcome to Simple and Easy. Okay, first you need to know that simple present or present simple refers to things that happen in the present. For example, I study to be a professional. This is happening actually right now in my present. Or can be hobbies or routines. Here you have a short explanation, things that happen in daily life. For example, I go to work every day. This happens every day in my daily life. Another example, I read the newspaper every Sunday, so that you have the calendar where it shows that this person does this action actually every Sunday. Here you have more examples, things that we do every day. Play football maybe, go to school, study, brush your teeth. Then you have the timeline. The timeline explains fully the position of the present in the middle. The present time is always going to be in the middle of the timeline. Here you have another timeline that explains better the position of the present. In the middle, then you have the past behind and the future that is going to come, right? Okay, in simple present or present simple, you have three types of structures: affirmative, negative, and interrogative. First, we are going to study affirmative structure. Okay, to construct an affirmative structure, you need the pronoun, the verb in present, and the complement. Here you have an example that reflects everything. Pronoun, she, or any pronoun that you want to use or that you have. I, you with a, I don't know. Verb, cleans, and the complement, the house every day. So you see the arrows that are pointing the verb and the arrow that is pointing the complement. You don't have to forget that when you write an affirmative sentence, in the verb you have to use s always. So to not in negative or interrogative sentences, of course. So let's go back to s. When you write s on the verb, on the ending of the verbs, you need to know some rules. First one, you write s, es, and ies according to these type of rules. For verbs that ends with x, h, or o, you add es. Example: go changes to goes, wash changes to washes, and fix to fixes. Go ends with o, so you change es, goes. Wash ends with h, so you have to put es, washes. Fix it ends with x, so you put fixes at the ending of the verb. Then you have verbs that ends with consonant. Y changes to ies. For example, study and the ends with y, and you have to change it to studies. And then carry to carries. Of course, that ends with y. And to finish, verbs that does not end with any of the previous, you put just s. For example, clean ends with n and is not in the things that we studied before, cleans. Open, opens. Travel, travels. S, only S. Here you have some verbs to be used, or if you want to use sing, go, cry. So according to the pronoun, you have to know or you have to learn if you put S or not. He, she, it, S. Are you, we, they, you don't have to use this. In affirmative, of course. Do not forget that with I, you, we, they, as I've mentioned before, you don't have to use S. With he, she, it, yes, you have to use S. Here you have more examples. I stays the same. Play, watch, you the same. He, she, it plays and watches according to the rules that we already studied. We, you, and they play and watch the same. So now let's go to negative. When you do a negative sentence or a negative structure, you need to know that you are going to use do not or don't, does not or doesn't. So you are going to use this auxiliary word according to the pronouns. Don't, I, you, we, they, and doesn't, she, he, it. You don't have to forget that. For example, she doesn't live here, they don't have money. She doesn't goes with she, they don't go with they. Sorry. Maybe this is difficult, but it's not. It's simple. You just add some words to the sentence. You have to add always, doesn't, and don't according to the pronouns. This means no in Spanish. For example, she doesn't live in Chile. She doesn't, you see, doesn't with she. And we don't have to study. And to conclude, you have questions. To do an interrogative sentence or structure, you have to change the position of the auxiliary word do or does. So let's suppose that first you have a negative sentence and you have to change it to a question. So before was he doesn't run every day in the park. You have doesn't because of the pronoun he, and you have to change it to a question. So you have does he run in the park every day? So you put the auxiliary word at the beginning of the sentence. So what we did, here is the explanation. Doesn't that goes after the pronoun now is changed to the beginning of the sentence, but in a positive way. He doesn't run every day in the park. Doesn't was changed to does. Does he run in the park every day? So you have the arrow that is showing the changing. So now is at the beginning, right? Does he run in the park every day? Always at the beginning. And if it was in a negative, you have to use it after the pronoun. He doesn't run every day in the park. Now let's see an example with an affirmative sentence. You change the position of the auxiliary word do or does at the beginning of the sentence, obviously, again. So you have an example here. He cleans, don't forget letter S, he cleans the bedroom, and then you have to change it to a question. So what are you going to do? You are going to put the auxiliary word at the beginning of the sentence. Does he clean the bedroom? And in a question, you don't have to use S in the verb. Only in affirmative structures or sentences. The auxiliary word changes from negative to positive, but in a question. The again, the thing that we already studied. Example, I don't have much time. Don't, you have to change it to a positive way, but at the beginning. Do you have much time? Or when you have an affirmative sentence, you just add do or does. For example, you cook delicious. This is an affirmative sentence. And you add the auxiliary word at the beginning of the sentence. Do you cook delicious? Look, that is at the beginning of the sentence, depending on the pronouns. Remember, you have to use auxiliary words, do or does, in negative sentences and in questions. For example, don't or doesn't negative, do or does interrogative. Don't, doesn't negative, do or does interrogative. So to finish with this class, we are going to review the things that we learned before. You have a summary here of everything that we studied. First, definition of present simple. We have to say that our daily routines or habits and things that happen in our present. We had affirmative sentences, and the verb is always in present. You don't have to forget the use of letter S at the ending of verbs. Use of the S in affirmative sentences, again. The rules of the use of the S. Then negative sentences, don't or doesn't. And interrogative sentences where you put does or do at the beginning of sentence. So this is everything for today. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you again.